Hispanic Heritage is brought to you by C. Felton.
Welcome back to WSAV. We continue to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. This morning, a conversation with local author Alfonso Dager about his debut novel, A Generation's Gift. Thank you so much for being here today. You came prepared, the poster and the book, everything, right?
Absolutely. Want to show off the novel, and thank you for having me here today.
No worries,
my pleasure
no worries.
to be here.
It's my pleasure. First off, my first question, how does a software guy end up writing a book? Software tech.
I was looking for a creative outlet, and when inspiration hit for this book, it was just, it was almost a calling, something that was time to write. It took about 7 years to research, so it was definitely touch and go, but really, really happy with the results.
And the book is based on true stories, true events.
Yes, it is. So I took a fictional main character and used that to tie together true events that happened between South Florida and Cuba from the 1950s to present day, and all related to different events that's happened to my family going all the way back to my great-grandparents.
Wow, wow. So you started writing when you were in your 20s, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that. How did that all start?
Yeah. Oh, wow. So it started September 2012.
You remember the date.
Well, so September 2012, my grandfather passed away.
Oh, wow.
And a month later, we received a YouTube link for a documentary about my grandfather. No one knew about it.
Wow.
It was a Catholic youth group from Cuba had actually traveled to Miami to find my grandfather and interview him 3 months before he passed away. And he passed away sudden, so it was it just by happenstance. Turns out, going back to the 1970s, when the Communist Revolution came through, they ransacked a number of churches. My grandfather was instrumental in saving relics of the church, hiding them from the communists, and smuggling them back to the archdiocese in Cuba. And when he came to the U.S. in the 80s, they kept hiding them. It wasn't until 2008 they rebuilt the church and put the relics back where they belong. And we're watching this YouTube video a month after the funeral, and I look at my father and say, "Dad, why did you never tell me this story? What a story." He says he didn't know. My father had already left the island at the time for Miami and waiting on his family. So I took it upon myself to start doing more research on our family history. And the more I looked, the more I found. We got stories about the war with the communists, all kinds of things that happened between there and South Florida. And really what brought it home for me is the generation connections, right? If we don't teach the younger generations what the older generations went through, then we lose a lot of that history, and really helps to teach younger ones what they've been through. And how many times have you have a family member, you're like, you know, you have the same personality as my great uncle. Maybe they've never met them, but there's that connection there.
Which points to the importance of sharing stories and documenting stories, documenting history.
Absolutely, and I couldn't wait to share this with my cousins and my cousins' kids. There's now 21 kids between all the cousins. And I want them to know the stories. And I don't know about with your family, but with mine, they say, you know, especially the old generation, we ask them questions, and they say, no, that's too sad to talk about. And I understand, it is sad. But as the family, you know, we lose that connection if we don't get them to talk. So it's been quite the adventure doing that research and coming up with a story around it.
And now I'm sure everyone is so proud of you for this. Now you are of Cuban and Lebanese heritage.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
So how much of an impact did that have on the way you tell your stories or what you decide to talk about?
Absolutely. Tremendous. It's interesting because as my great-grandparents went from Lebanon to Cuba, and then it was my father who went from Cuba to the U.S., and each time that transition happens, you lose a little bit of the culture. So it was really, I made it a point to bring back a number of those cultural aspects. And that definitely brought it home for me.
Wow. Okay, so it can bring it home for a lot of other folks because you have a big book launch coming up this Friday.
This Friday.
October 11th, beginning at 6 o'clock. What's the name of the cafe?
It's at Bracco's Bakery and Cafe in Townsend, Georgia.
Wow. So for more information, also, if you don't make it there, you can always order this book on Amazon.
Available on Amazon, hardback, paper cover, Kindle ebook.
Yes.
And the Audible is in production.
Wow.
So soon to come out, hopefully by Christmas.
Okay, congratulations to you, and thank you so much for being here today. Oh, shout out to your wife and your son. Yeah. Who are in the studio right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim.
Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.